Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Guys, it's Gregory Puff here. I'm hanging out with Sir Link-a-Lot, our Platimus Prime, our Duckling Derby winner of what year was that? 2021? Was that summer,
No,
winter?
summer 2020.
Summer 2020. So, somebody that's kind of been around the block as far as the old Duck Derby is concerned, hanging out with me in chat. Jay Scheidel is doing our restream and tracking, and we are on our Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel, bringing you our first week slash first race of our summer 2022 Duckling Derby. How you doing today, Sir Winkala?
Doing great. How about yourself, Gregory?
Man, I cannot complain. T-Rex girl in chat. No idea what's going on, but I'm here to be supportive. That's all we ask for in the world. That is all we ask for. This is Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer. Duckling Derby is basically our new player showcase. So we have our Duckling Seed, kind of teaches people how to play the game, or how to learn the randomizer, and that's on our Discord channel. And then every 6 months we run a basic showcase for newer players to kind of show us what they've learned. And each week we have a different style of flag set. This week we have floaterless. What that means is that we have no floater in the game, so no airship will be found. The airship will remain in the Raycon Desert forever, and these runners will have to basically use their ship, canoe, and any other way to get to all the different places to light up those 4 crystals or orbs or whatever you want to call them and go to Temple of Fiends Revisited. I think that's what we're doing today, right?
Yep, we got to go to Temple of Fiends Revisited. We got to go back 2,000 years in time and then punch / chaos, cast magic at him, do whatever to fix time because chaos doesn't like time apparently.
Yeah, the cast's all about that 2,000 year time loop or whatever's going on with him. So, but Forsaken Sadness, we've got Sin Pyro, Mr. Ibis, and Not Young Me on stream. We have 7 other runners that are going to be off stream. So the way that we do this particular thing is that we have a set time for 2 groups. So this is Group Bikke or Team Bikke, and they will race every Sunday at noon. This Sunday, we're skipping 4th of July week, but then the following Sunday, so this Sunday, which is the 26th, the 10th of July, the 17th of July, and the 24th of July will be their races, and they will all happen at noon Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Team Astos will be another group of 12 that will be racing on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and it'll be this coming Saturday, so not yesterday, but now my thing's not working. There we go. So their first race is actually going to be on the 2nd of July at 7 p.m., skipping again the 4th of July weekend. Then we're going to do the 16th to the 23rd and the 30th of July will be all their races. And we are using Mario Kart style points. So I think first place will get 24 points. I gotta look at the thing.
I think it's going to be based on the group, but because there's only 11 in this group, so it'll be 22 in this group, I believe, and 24 in the other one.
Yeah, so yeah, we're for the sake of simplicity, we're doing 12 per group because we did have 12 people in this group, but one person dropped out beforehand. But for simplicity's sake, we're just doing 24 for first place, 21, 19, and then so forth and so on. And then the 10th and 11th place will get 12 points. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I know I just said a mouthful there. But yeah, this race should be starting up here pretty soon. These guys are on a 10-minute delay. I let them go about 7 minutes ago, so in about 3 minutes we'll be going. And you want to talk about anything else? Let's talk about these parties real quick. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the parties are good. The blursings, I'm not sure if anybody saw what they were, but we've got some interesting blursings. We've got, like, night spells already on the fighter, so they're going to be able to cast the white magic before promotion. Thief is already going to be able to equip the katana that you normally need to promote to a ninja for. Those are kind of the big ones. We've got some armor between the mages, some extra luck on the fighter, but kind of an interesting. We've got 3 different parties. Got Fighter, Thief, Red Mage, Black Mage. On Forsaken Sadness, Not Young Me. The Thief has buffed agility, starts at 80. There is no Thief lockpicking on this seed, so not going to be able to kind of skip the key. But that 80 agility is going to help that Thief just avoid damage and also, maybe avoid some ambushes, get some ambushes instead. And then other than that, everybody's got the Thief maybe for that reason. But then we've got, a White Mage down on Sin Pyro's side, so not going to have to worry about getting locked out of any important White Magic. And then we've got Mr. Abyss is the only one running with the Black Belt. The scaling on the bosses isn't so bad this seed. We've got, I think it's 70 to 150 on the stats, but the HP is clamped at 100 to 150. So, Black Belt's going to need to be a grind, but maybe not a huge grind like 42 per se, but maybe just 32, especially if we find like early fast and temper. That Red Mage and Black Mage kind of support the Black Belt through those fights.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate any of these parties, to be perfectly honest. I think all of them have their merits, especially with the Blursings, like what you said. The Thief's getting the Katana and Fighter armor right away, which, that's already like basically running a ninja here. The Fighter with the Night spells, of course, already kind of like having a Night. The one thing, we do have an Excal, I think, that we can equip on the Red Mage.
Yeah.
So if we do find the Excal early, at least we'll be able to use it until promotion. But with these floaterless seeds, I imagine we'll be finding everything we need. I would be shocked if we didn't find the key at some point in time. One other thing about this, the seed, is that we do have random AoE caster item turned on. So these guys will start off with an AoE caster item, whether it be, the Zeus Bonk or the Thor's Hammer or something like that. And then, what are our incentives here? We've got Power Bonk, the Power Staff, which is the Ruse Staff, right? And the Black Shirt, so a way to cast Ice too. As far as our locations are concerned, we don't have to go to Ice Cave, which is very nice, because going to Ice Cave without a floater is kind of annoying, so it's nice that that's not turned on. We do have Ord Eagles and Marsh Cave turned on. We have Earth Cave turned on after the Rod Locked area. We have Sea turned on, and we have Sky Palace, only Sky, not Mirage. So Sky Palace turned on as far as the incentive, and the Cardia Island incentive, which is basically just Bahamut's room. So,
and I think to note, since we're talking about the incentives, since this is a couple of incentive locations, the early Sarda and early Sages item are not turned on. So you've got to kill Vampire to go get Sarda's item, and you've got to kill Lich to get the Sages item in Crescent Lake. So
yep. So it should be pretty exciting. I'll be interested to see what these guys decide to do. Once we get going, and to see obviously where the key items end up and how this ends up shaping up. Mr. Ibis will, if he does find the canal early enough, could potentially make a beeline for the desert. And speaking of which, everyone's on the way, so let's see what's going on here.
Get to Magic, see Black Magic first. We've got, let's see, Fire 3, Lit, Ice 2, and Lock. So probably grab Fire 3, Lock. And then White Magic, we've got Harm 2, Cure 4, Invis, and X first. So all of our runners, only Sin Pyro is going to pick up Cure 4. Some decent armor, but
yeah. So right now, the only person that's able to use this Cure 4 out of White Magic is going to be Sin Pyro here. Now, the main reason why I imagine most people didn't bring a White Mage along is because we don't have the Harm hurts everybody flag turned on for this, so the White Mage isn't quite as useful. But that Cure 4 is kind of nice. Like, I would be happy if I brought a White Mage and Cure 4 was in that slot.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of that rewarding. All right, cool. If nobody else brings a White Mage, this is mine. We do find out we're seeing in the item shop, we've got Bane Sword is the caster item. So
nice.
Nobody can equip it yet. It's a nice little caster item, but potentially might also be worth a decent amount of gold. So if you're short on money for like spells in Elfland or Provoca, could maybe sell it for some money to where you don't have to worry about coming back for those spells.
Young me checking these boxes here, and Toph looks like we got about 5,000 out of that first box, and isn't checking anything else. So I think must be pretty happy with the amount of money we got there. Woo
Yep.
Bear pointing that out in chat as well. And Garland goes down on Not Young Me's side, so our first person to kill Garland. See what we got. We got a canal right off the get go.
Yes, you were talking
And
about
the
that.
adamant.
Talking about the early canal, we already have it. So the world is pretty open. There's only a couple locations we can't actually get to now that are locked behind canoe, but there's a lot that's on the table now with the early canal.
Yep. Mr. Ibis, Black Bolt already down, checking the boxes as well. Forsaken Sadness, not even bothering with these boxes here. It's just going to go right after Garland. And top boxes there, got about 10 grand out of these boxes. That's typically, if I'm running Black Belt, I don't check these boxes, but man, those ended up working out really well as far as getting early money.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the money you need early in this seed now. Oh, I think he reset. Oh, he's going to go back and get it, but...
Yeah, took a wipe on Bones. Got boned there by, looked like Glare was coming out, and Cremate was their second skill. So that was, ooh, you know, not the best thing you like to see.
Got a little first glance at level 2 white magic. We had Fade was the big thing I saw. Nothing else was really outstanding. And then we got Fast in black magic at level 2.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Not Young Me, like flying through this so far. Already in Provoca. Everybody else still kind of hanging out in this Canaria area. Sin Pyro taking down Garland, already level 4. Wow.
Taking some extra encounters. Gets the Canal and Adamant.
Young Me going to use that Bane Sword. No Fade charges, but we got Fire 3. It's fine.
Well, no Fade charges on the fighter that was trying to cast. I think the fighters, even with night spells, I believe they still have to wait till 15 to start getting the extra charges, so I believe.
I'm having a senior moment. I'm like, I don't remember how that works.
I guess we'll find out because he's level 5, so see what happens. We get the cube from Bikke.
Yeah. Woo Bear pointing out what I thought as well. Classic Bane Sword, completely killing all the pirates but one.
That Final Fantasy special.
Yeah. Sin Pyro here, gonna get the Fade.
Like
so yeah,
silver plus 4 armor is actually, that's a good little piece of armor. It's a little expensive, but if you got all that money from Temple of Fiends, that's something you could give to, you know, red mages, fighters, and the thief as well, because that fighter armor.
Yeah, for sure. Oof. Dazzle landing on the thief, but luckily being able to get away. Not Young Me, our first runner on stream, getting away from Provoca, is going to head down to Wolfland to check out what's going on down there. I imagine we'll hit up Marsh Cave as well, since that is incentivized, but we do have the canal as well, so we have some other places we could go. Hit up Crescent, we can go check the Cardia incentive, or, you know, for somebody like Mr. Ibis who has the Black Belt, can go on ahead and, you know, maybe try to hunt down some T-Rexes and get a grind going on that Black Belt.
Yeah, maybe. Black Magic, level 3, big things there were Fire 2, and then Saber, and there's that Bane Sword just getting sold.
Yeah, I actually don't really hate that play, especially when you have Fade. You have 2 Fade casters here with this party.
Yeah.
And nobody likes to double dip cities, especially Elfland, trying to get magic, double, triple dipping. That's the kind of stuff that'll end up costing you time. So being able to sell that Bane Sword and picking up all the magic you need here is, I think it's a good play.
Yeah, and that fighter pick kind of paying off. Has life 2 and wall learnable at level 3, and then I saw level 4 white magic was like life and exit, but exit looked like it was white locked.
Yeah.
Warp, though, so that's not a huge deal if you don't have a white mage.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. With the Black Mage and the Red Mage, we'll have plenty of warp charges eventually, you know, around level 8, 9, somewhere in that general area. The exit being blocked out isn't like the worst thing that could happen, but at least Sin Pyro will be able to get that. Not Young Me spending too much money, unfortunately, cannot save in Elfland, but can just drop down a tent and we're good to go.
Yep, and looks like we are off to the Marsh Cave on both Not Young Me's and Forsaken Sadness. Forsaken Sadness actually kind of closed the gap quite a bit because Not Young Me was in Provoca significantly ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And then they're both on their way. We got unrunnable Gur Imps.
Sin Pyro is going to be our first person, not really, because Mr. Ibis is actually going to be our first person on stream to turn in this adamant and see what we're going to get out of this. TNT, so we got lazy dwarves going on. See, I would have done the Forsaken and the Not Young Me thing where you go down to Marsh Cave. If that's the TNT, then potentially you don't have to double dip this area, but obviously we've got the lazy dwarves going on, so no double dip required here. And there's the canoe blowing up that wall there and getting the boat out of the wall. So that's pretty awesome. Canoe pretty much opens up the rest of the world for these guys now that we have the canal.
Yeah, Sin Pyro doing the same thing, so just got the canoe. But yeah, like you said, sea's pretty much open at this point. Just need the items to be able to get to all of our dungeons and loot and key.
Yeah, pretty much at this point, we've got the cube, so we'll still need the chime to get into sky, get the incentive out of there. We're going to need the Oxio, of course, to get into sea, and then the rod to get the incentive and kill Lich. And then, of course, these guys will also need loot and key in order to finish the game. So, Mr. Ibis here.
We found our Masamune. So there is only one trap chest in the entire game, and it's locked behind Warmech, which has the Masamune. So,
where did we see that? Is it in Marsh Cave?
Yeah, it's in Marsh Cave.
Oh no, this spike tile here is scary. I don't know. I think I'd rather deal with wizards than lobsters with blizzard to try to get this stupid incentive.
Yeah, this would be one of those things where it's just like if you bounce, like if it's, you think it's just a turn order thing, but at the same time, like if there's always 6 lobsters,
yeah,
then that might be a you know what? I'm gonna come back later. Like hopefully you find a ribbon, you find something nice, and we actually see Mr. Ibis be the first one to go to Bahamut. Missed him even traveling there, but we get the ruby out of there. So nothing hugely important right now because we need to be either go kill the vampire to do anything with it, but you've got it, and there's no other way to get there since there's no floater.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully Ibis remembers that you have to kill you're going to have to kill the vampire in order to get the Sarda item, so that ruby really isn't that great right now. Now, what would be really annoying is if for whatever reason, like the rod is behind that, and you got to kill the vampire to get the Sarda item, which is the rod.
the
vanilla rod. That would definitely be awful. We'll see how that
I wouldn't say
out.
It would be the most awful thing we've seen so far because these lobsters they're holding no prisoners.
Yeah. So Ibis going for ordeals, not a bad play. You're right in the area. It is incentivized, and yeah, I like the play so far. I feel bad for Forsaken Sadness and Not Young Me just because we are stuck behind this like Blizzard Lobster thing. And we do have Adamant, which we know kind of opens up the rest of the world. So at this point on your side, Sir Link-a-Lot, how many times do you wipe in here before you're just like, all right, I'll come back?
Maybe twice, and at that point, like if it's one of those, especially if I see 6 lobsters both times and know that's probably what I'm seeing all the time, especially considering, hey, look at that, Forsaken Sadness just got ambushed by them. So
yeah,
at that point I'm just like, nope, I'll come back, try to get some gear, anything. I mean, even we've seen it, this might even be one of those things if you want to try to get really cheeky, be like, I want this right now, head back to Provoker really quick. And just for the ruse stick, that hurts.
Yeah, that's brutal. And Not Young Me, that's got to feel really bad to do all of that. You finally made it through that battle. You've been down here 3 or 4 times, and then you just get the ruse stick, and you're like, yeah, that's great, but that is not what I need.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, let the cat point out just how awful this marsh cave is, because the bones are down here, and we know the bones have cremate and glare. Then of course, you got to get past this blizzard lobster pack in order to get the ruse stick. And at this point, yeah, I mean, Mr. Ibis making the plays.
Yeah, and this would be something like we have this, sweepers and everything, but like if you didn't have, say, your red mage didn't have Fate or any other good sweepers right now that you want to cast, and those scums also have Frost, by the way. So Marsh Cave gets worse. We know we have like anti-ice available. Mm-hmm. That would be one of those things. Hey, I need to get through this. If it maybe like it was unrunnable or something like that, where you go pick up anti-ice and try to hopefully get that before those blizzards start coming off to resist a bunch of that damage. But
Yeah. Mr. Ibis out of ordeals already. Something must have happened. I was like too busy looking down, and all of a sudden, Mr. Ibis walking back in.
yeah, something got him. I didn't see it either. Kind of been paying attention to what's like getting through the lobsters. Forsaken Sadness makes it through, but we've got some bones now. And by thief, by fighter.
Ibis just doing the reset. Probably got lost in ordeals, or at least figured out how to get through ordeals, and so reset back out, and then it's going to go back through. That's definitely ooh, Medusas with Blaze. That is no good.
Yeah, it's like you're here. You made the play to come to ordeals early. It's like you kind of have to stick with it and just kind of hope you avoid the bad stuff now.
And Sin Pyro, I have to point this out. I don't know if he saw all the nastiness from those lobsters, but it seemed like that was a pretty quick roost stick compared to everybody else.
Yeah, I think he avoided most of that. Or he got really lucky and only saw one blizzard and his thief or somebody else decided, hey, we don't want to see this anymore. Bye. Just like those bones, like never saw it. Like I mean, he might have seen it before, but his party's not having any of it. It's like, all right, I got the good stuff. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So yeah, even though we designed these flags for kind of more beginner players, it's not going to stop the game from rolling nasty nonsense on on enemies in certain dungeons. Sometimes stuff.
Rando gonna rando.
Yes, they say so. Not Young Me turning in the adamant, gets the canoe, probably thinks at this point, oh my god, it's spent so much time in Marsh Cave, and the canoe was right there the whole time. But it looks like everybody's gotten out of Marsh Cave with that ruse stick, and we're good to go. Sid Pyro trying to burn off some encounters, like using encounter manipulation. You like to see that out of newer runners. Mr. Ibis here, picking up some stuff. Uh-oh, Medusas. Gets away.
Thief did thief things.
Yep. Luckily, this is really the only place Medusas live, except for in Sky. So, hopefully, we won't see much of that.
Yeah, no, we get the bottle, so we can go turn that in.
Not Young Me getting the ruby, sorry.
No, that's about what I was going to say. So, as far as incentives, we're missing the shop item still.
Yep.
Which that has to be accessible. It's either got to be in Gaia or on rack.
Yep. Or the Caravan.
Or Crescent.
Oh yeah, we haven't been to Crescent yet, but obviously there's no reason to go to Crescent until we kill Lich. So it's
unless the rod is sitting there.
That of course would be the life right there. The rod hanging out as the vendor item in Crescent that you're not going to want to go to until after you kill Lich. But Mr. Ibis here going to go on ahead and turn in the bottle now. May as well. You're in the area, and hey, shop item could be here. Plus, again, we're rocking that black belt, so the least we can do is check these desert tiles and see if desert area and see if there's any T-Rexes or sandworms or anything we can grind on here. And the crown is in on rack, it looks like, for 21,000. So there's our vendor item.
Yeah, and Brack was level 8 as well, so we're probably not getting Brack strats at all. There's our crystal.
Yeah. Crystal, not great to find here, but at least you can sail south and dock at that river system right next to Matoya's cave and turn it in there if you want to.
And I see some steak.
Yeah, I saw that right off the hard reset. We got Fade, which should be able to take care of it pretty easily, depending on where the tie road rolled. Man, that rapier, if that's still a rapier, that thing was doing some serious damage.
Yeah, it's a rapier +5, so when you get 3 hits and the crit on it, I think the crit's above, I want to say it's above 30 at +5, so that's, it's like you don't think about rapiers being good, but when they roll +5, yeah, rapiers still do work at that point. Yeah,
I was going to say, rapier I think has, I think it's 10 damage, So yeah, you do that +5. That's 20 damage. That's like just under a silver sword. It's not bad.
No, not at all. And we've got steak and wings too, or this is probably the same encounter. So that steak is actually can be steak and wings. So black belt is looking pretty good. I'm hoping to see on Mr. Ibis's side that just kind of you made that gamble, I guess, to just skip Marsh Cave, even though you were right there. You could do it to just not even go to Marsh at this point. Make that kind of your if something's there, this is the hill I die on, and I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's no like. It's hard to get to Marsh Cave anyway, and if you skip it now, you may as well just not bother going back to it, and obviously won't need to. Not even me in what is this place? Waterfall. Getting the tail from the robot. Send Pyro here in Ordeals. Man, what was that? Like 50 grand?
Yeah, 47,000. That is a nice chunk.
Yeah,
especially in Waterfall. If you didn't have the money for the crown, you definitely do now.
Yes, and yes, Mr. Ibis going southbound to that southern continent to turn in the crystal. Completely missed what it was, but
it was the loot.
Oh, low required ordeals there. And Woo Bear pointing out this is almost, I mean, yeah, unless the crown turns into the ruby, we are looking at a 100% locked ruby behind the vampire and Sarda.
Well, we could get Chime, and that would get us an incentive. Oxale would give us an incentive as well. But yeah, if Crown would need to lead to it, or yeah.
So it looks like Mr. Ibis is going to at least Melmond to see what's going on here. Hasn't gone down to Amrak. Probably. I mean, it would definitely be the place. Ooh, Nuke at level 5. And that is Red Wizard learnable. It's definitely Black Mage learnable.
Yep. Yeah, it's like Not Young Me with that tail. Not surprised. There's no reason to not promote this party. Is immediately going to Bahamut's like, hey, we want to grow up into our adult forms now.
Yeah. Man, Mr. Ibis really going for like the big brain play here. Is going to go take out the vampire to turn in the ruby instead of checking out Waterfall. Or no, we're checking some spike tiles here.
I actually like this because there's 3 spike tiles just on the first floor of this. You have the black belt. Like, you can kind of see how he's changing up what he does compared to everybody else. Everybody else is checking boxes, and he's just like, nope, I'm not checking any boxes. I got a black belt. I know where all the items I need are to a certain degree. I just need to get levels on my black belt, and I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, my only like criticism of this is that we were literally next to that like desert where the Mirage tower is, and there's like those 4 zones, and there's like and kind of right off the hard reset. We already saw Steak and Wings, which is kind of hard to kill with only Fade, but I mean, there could have been some other stuff like sandworms or T-Rex, like maybe a not so chunky T-Rex there that we could have gotten a grind going on. But you know, I don't really hate this grind either. Zombie Ds, they give pretty decent experience. As long as they don't hit you too hard and we got the Fire 3, we can grab a couple of levels here. At least take everybody to 21, then start killing some people off.
Yeah. And maybe that's what he's doing too, is just kind of like getting the party prepped and then have everybody else ready to go to where you can just get to the desert, drop everybody, and just take that Steak and Wings with the black belt and not have to worry so much anymore.
Right, so Sin Pyro going to turn in the bottle here is going to get the crystal. We know the crystal leads to the loot. Not Young Me and Forsaken Sadness just holding hands through the seed, basically doing everything each other does. And hopefully going to be able to get this bottle out of here. Forsaken Sadness, feeling the sadness here with these Blaze Medusas.
We'll see if Not Young Me gets it as well. It's kind of scary, like your best runner sitting there as a statue right now. So
yeah, it makes me wonder: do we have softs? I feel like the Beggar's Choice at least starts with a soft.
I would think you start with at least one. I'm actually gonna go check just to see.
Yeah. Ooh, we got Trance coming out of the mummies. That would just be like an instant reset, especially now that everybody's stunned.
Random Beggar's Choice is 0 to 1, so you could actually not start off with a soft potion.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened here.
Yep. Woo Bear pointing that out too in chat. And here comes the glance. We got more statues. Trance, glance, hard hits. So yeah, this is kind of one of those things that it's hard to get away from as a newer runner to just reset when bad things are starting to happen real quick. Like yes, it would you're hoping that you can get out of that trance locked and you can, you know, uh, potentially get away from that battle and not have to reset. But I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger and just be like, nah, no, I'll just go back in.
Hey, Gregory, look at Mr. Ibis.
Oh my lord. Oh my, is that the earth tile right there with an eyeball on it?
I'm pretty sure that is the earth tile with an eyeball.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I believe we have found the grind.
Yeah, I think so too. He's gonna go kill this vampire though, so we can get the Sarda item. But yeah, I mean, at this point, warp back to the second floor of this, which is, and then go to that bottom room. That way you can, or you can go to the first room, or sorry, the bottom left room on the first floor, so that you can take the encounter a bunch and not have to worry about off-tile encounters. But this room also would be off-tile encounter, or no off-tile encounter. But then you'd have to walk everything out, which is kind of scary.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, I get it. You're not going to have to take any random encounters while you're doing this, but then you've got to run out with just your black belt through 3 levels.
Yeah, and I wasn't making much sense there. I was like, blah, 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 nothing making sense. So what Mr. Ibis, what would be the best is to warp out of here, save, go hang out with the mud golems and the zombie Ds until everyone's dead, then walk out, save again, then go eat some eyeballs until we're level whatever you want to be. So yeah, it looks like he's trying to get an off-tile encounter potentially to kill some people off. But again, I don't like grinding on this third floor when we got to walk everything out. We already have, we already have warp on that red mage and black mage.
Yeah, that's kind of like when you're deciding on your black belt grinds. It's there's a lot of things you think about, and one of the very first things you got to think about is the safety.
Oh my gosh!
What? Something had something nasty, and I missed it. Oh,
the specters have fire too. So yeah, we're about to lose everybody here. Yeah, unfortunately, we gotta wipe here. So I'm thinking Mr. Ibis at this point maybe go down, kill the vampire again, warp back out. Get everybody killed off on the mud golems and zombie Ds, and then go down and grind the eye. I think would be the best play here. So Forsaken Sadness is going to Earth Cave as well. So I missed what the crown turned into, but it looks like that's where we are here. Or unless he doesn't have the crown.
Yeah, unless nobody's turned it in. I don't think anybody has turned it in. It's not showing in our lovely notes by our tracker. So I don't think anybody's turned it in because I'm not seeing anybody that has the crown have anything that's completely different than everybody else.
There it was. I saw he's turning in the crown now. Not Young Me is the only person that's been to Waterfall and has done the thing, but it looks like we got the chime out of there. So yeah, this may not even be a necessary play because we could get whatever we need out of Sky here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still a 50-50 at this point, whether we need to kill the vampire to get whatever Sarda has, or go to Sky and get whatever's in Sky. But Not Young Me has kind of the lead as far as the key items are concerned because he's the only person that's been to Waterfall. Sin Pyro in Waterfall currently, so we'll get the tail and we'll get that huge money and hopefully be able to buy the crown, or has already bought the crown, according to our tracker.
Replenish the money stocks after spending it all for the crown.
Yeah.
Because it was actually a pretty expensive crown. I think it was like 21K. So.
Yeah. So Forsaken Sadness, finding the eyeball. The eyeball kills the black mage immediately. Mr. Ibis still thinking about just you got charges of warp. Unless Mr. Ibis never went to Elfland, that's the only thing I can think why he's walking this out.
He might not have, because I don't know if he's got level 3 and level 4 spells.
Yeah. Let's check your...
Yeah, again.
Yeah. Yeah, because at that point, yeah, if he never went to Elfland, then yeah, he wouldn't have warp or any of those level 3 or 4 spells. The life 2.
Which does make sense as far as like, if you don't have it, but this still is kind of, it's like when you find out this is the Earth Elemental tile, it's like, all right, there's a safer place up on floor 1 where I can do this and not have to also run out, especially knowing that, specters have fire too.
Yeah.
You're going to have to kill everybody off, which means your black belt's going to be there. Yes, you can take it up to potentially, 32, 42, you have a bunch of health, but if you have 5 or 6 specters casting fire 2 at you, you go through that health really quick.
Yep, and it only takes one fail of run, which would happen easily with a black belt for you to potentially wipe out of there. So, and the other thing too is like eyes are not good at hitting things, so it's going to take a while just to even get his party down. But once we get that black belt on board, we are going to be pewing through the rest of the game.
Yeah, especially the hardest part is going to be killing the thief off, because the thief's got the buffed agility, so it's even harder to hit.
Yep. But I mean, it's a safe grind outside of the fact that we're on the 3rd floor. It's a safe grind in the sense that you're not going to get enough time encounter in here because it's right next to that door. Not Young Me is going to go to Sky with that information, and there's a sandworm battle. See, that's a lot safer.
Yeah, I don't know if it was off the hard reset or not. It might have been second encounter, but if that's the case, like if you know where the actual zones are, you could take the steak and wings as encounter 1, drop down, grab the sandworms as encounter 2, and then do a hard reset and just keep doing it over and over again. And yeah, you'll level significantly quick still, and a lot safer because you got to save every 2 battles, so you losing your grind isn't really too big of a deal.
Yeah, there's no such thing as losing a grind here. So yeah, and we did have the Tyro off the hard reset in that northeast quadrant of the desert. But Not Young Me is going to go on ahead and do Sky, and we know the incentive is past the cube locked. It's going to be a random chest in Mirage, so I mean he's got the party for it. If there's one place I want to go and open a bunch of boxes, that's Sky.
Yeah, the only, I guess, kind of concern is your party ready to also fight Tiamat? Because I don't believe we've seen Temper, which means it's either nobody's been a Crescent, so it's a decent chance it's probably sitting there at level 6. But that means all you have is fast, so if Tiamat did kind of roll on the chunky side as far as Absorb, and you've got maybe Nuke on that Black Wizard, you've got Fade, but Tiamat's also guaranteed to have 1,000 health, so you have enough to get through it.
Yeah. I mean, Not Young Me, I think, is the only person I saw on stream that actually sold that Bane sword, so it's not like we can even do a cheeky, Bane strats against Tia here. So we got to do all 1,000 to 1,500 damage here. InfoCynic wondering, Warmech flags? Yeah, we know where Warmech is already. Warmech is hanging out in Marsh Cave, guarding our Masamune.
I kind of wonder if anybody's actually that's seen Warmech with the, that's not running Black Belt is actually going to go back and be like, all right, you know what? I know where Masamune is. I'm still looking for an endgame weapon. I'm just going to go kill Warmech, get some levels, and get my weapon.
Yeah. Ooh, that eyeball, walloped that Black Belt for 100 damage.
Yeah, the eye's hitting fairly hard still, too, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's almost in grinding territory right now. I mean, the Thief only has 19 health. If that eye can land another crit on that Thief, it'll be down, and then we're just going to solo grind. Should be done here in just a moment.
Actually just saw what the eye was actually guarding, because he actually picked up the chest. It's actually guarding the Excal. So, if anybody wants to actually check that chest, that's... it's not the greatest. We've got the herb. The rod is locked by the vampire.
Oh my gosh, what are the odds? I mean, I'm glad that these two people chose to do that. I mean, because that's like a real big brain, kind of Hail Mary plan. I would be kind of on the Not Young Me side of things and exhaust every option before I went into into here, assuming that the vampire was going to hide the rod for us. But yeah, there we go. Forsaken Sadness. And once Mr. Ibis is done with this grind, we'll be getting the rod from this pickup.
Yeah, that's pretty big, because if you've already skipped it this many times, you're probably not coming back.
Yeah.
or you'll do that. It's like it's got to be somewhere else. It's not going to be locked behind its vanilla location. It's like surprise, it
Yeah.
actually is.
So yeah, not young me. Still finishing up Sky here. Did get the herb as our incentive item. It was up on Sky 3, top right room there. Sin Pyro is here as well to do, well, basically what everyone else is doing here and trying to kill the vampire to get the Sarda item.
The nice thing is he's gonna have the easiest way out. He has a white mage with exit, so it's literally kill a vampire, cast exit, and then find out that what you did was actually completely required.
Yeah.
Hopefully he checks this box, because if he does, he's about to get an Excal for his knight, and it's probably going to be very happy. Immediately he's like, yep, I'm equiping that over a rune -3.
Yeah, and that's a really good, like, that's, yeah. I didn't see, what was the modifier on that Excal?
+2. So.
+2. So yeah, you got the +2 Excal, which obviously makes it a better weapon than just the regular Excal. And then also we have the weapon elemental type bonuses is set to 25. So we're doing like twice and a half as much damage as you would in the vanilla game with an Excal, pretty much against everything except for like 2 enemies I think don't have types, and one of them is Chaos. So I think that Sin Pyro here is going to grab a couple levels just because why not? We got eyeballs. We may as well take everybody up to a reasonable level. And then I imagine they'll put, pedal to the metal and just go.
Yeah, they might check some boxes because, I mean, I might have missed it, but I don't think any of our runners have actually seen a ribbon yet.
No, and the ribbon's not incentivized. So getting a ribbon would be nice here for sure. I don't think we have a short topher. That would be the only way I would consider maybe not worrying about ribbon. I mean, I know we had wall at level
2.
2.
Or no, not 2, it's 3.
Okay.
But it's still, it's turns you have to spend getting wall up, and if you get bad turn order and you have like a first turn Bane, Zap, anything that's insta kill, you could just lose your some of your characters. Granted, if you've got a knight and a red wizard or white wizard or mages, you got plenty of life charges, but that just means getting through those fights is that much more difficult.
Yeah, Mr. Ibis living dangerously here. It looks like we didn't. I mean, unless he got to 24 or 42 faster than I could ever imagine, I'm pretty sure we stopped at 32, and we got to get off of this floor.
Yep, he got to 32 and he stopped there. So yeah, this is definitely one of those ideas. It's time to just punch.
Yeah, and this Tia did roll on the upper side of absorb here because looks like we got a 6 hits for 68, and then I saw another 6 hits for 60. So that's not good. Granted, we are rocking. It looks like we're still rocking the rapier. Slow is going to stop everything, but luckily we do have fast. So
one thing to note as well, in case people are wondering, because there is this flag, it is not turned on though. We cannot cast life in battle, so even with those life 2 charges, that ninja is going to stay eating dirt until we're done with Tia, or until Tia's done with us, whichever one happens first.
All right, Forsaken Sadness here on Lich. It looks like I did not see what the incentive was that he picked up in here because there was an incentive past Earth, right?
Yeah, it's behind gating. I wonder if let's see, slab maybe?
Slab. It looks like it. No, I thought we got the slab from.
No,
he's the only person with slab, so it had to be
our
slab.
notes say it's the slab, so.
Huh?
Slab, Earth 4, top chests is where it was.
Yep. So, Forsaken Sadness is going to be our first runner on stream that's going to take out a fiend. Not Young Me out of there. It looks like. Yeah, I don't know if Not Young Me was able to kill Tiamat or if we just.
Don't think so. I didn't see I mean, I could have missed it because he was quick on the menu, but I don't think I saw an orb lit on his pause screen. We'll have to see next time he goes into the menu. Shouldn't be too long until he does the.
Oh, no, he did kill him. So yeah, we got the orb lit now.
Okay, so.
Yep. So we know the crystal's going to turn into the loot. Ooh, got a right shirt out of there. That's pretty good. There's the slab translation for Forsaken Sadness.
And Mr. Ibis did make it out with his grind as well.
It's awesome. So yeah, level 32. That's going to be pretty good. I would have liked to have seen. Personally, I'm always a proponent of no matter what the scaling is, take your black belt to 42. Like it's more than just it's more than just the attack power. It's like all the extra M-Def, all the extra HP, all that extra like morale. Things will run away from you quicker. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of it.
I guess, I mean, to me, the reason why 32 makes sense, you already have fast. The
Yeah.
only reason why it doesn't make sense, he hasn't been to Elfland. He doesn't have wall yet, but like with fast and wall on 2 separate characters, you could do, black mage fast, red mage wall, and then punch, and that's
Yeah.
it. He has the support to where it's just like the hits might not be necessary, but again, if you get one of those insta kills first turn, you might lose your black belt, and then at that point you kind of have to go to, hopefully you've got backup strats to get you through. What she's got the X-Cal on the red mage, that could work as a viable backup strat.
Yeah.
If needed.
So Mr. Ibis here is going to go back to Earth with that solo black belt, so he may end up just going to 42 anyway at this point, because obviously we got the rod, and we need to kill Lich in order to get the Crescent item. Sin Pyro here getting the slab, so again, kind of following what Forsaken Sadness has done. Not Young Meast going to do the slab translation first, it looks like. I mean, obviously already translated the slab, but it looks like we're heading over to... No, we're going to go to Earth Cave. So yeah, Not Young Me's going to make the correct play here. I didn't see what the herb turned into. I was too busy talking about other random things.
Has anybody? Prince of the Black Shirt. That's what it is. So herb not required at all.
Yeah, and I know Not Young Me's got to feel really, really behind after that. After not only wiping a ton of time to get the Roo Stick, but then going to Sky and then realizing, uh-oh, I gotta go to Earth Cave and do this thing.
And our sages have the power bonk. So, I mean, we need to kill Lich for the crystal, but not for that. And there's a ribbon in the bottom room.
There you go. Sin Pyro with the big pickup there. And at this point, I think you only really need one ribbon. Put it on your life caster. And then switch it out once you get to, once you start fighting fiends. Move the ribbons around, because our fighter can do life, correct?
Yeah, fighter has life too, so realistically, put the ribbon on the fighter. And, I mean, you got the Roo Stick, you've got power bonk. Realistically, you've got everything you need to get through assuming nothing bad happens on turn 1. But yeah.
So not
use 1 life 2 cast, bring your red wizard back up, let your red wizard, or your white wizard, he doesn't have a red wizard, he's got a white wizard. Let the white wizard pick everybody up.
Yep. So one thing I'll have to say, that flag that we have turned on, the no early sages, no early Sarda, that's a flag that's like rarely ever used. And I'll have to say, these are all new runners here, right? These are guys that have been in the community for 6 months or less. And the fact that they're not like confounded by this, you know what I mean? Because like I would be so confused if I was Not Young Me at this point. I would be like, what is going on? I've checked all the incentives. Why can't I like do anything? So I mean, this is a good place from these guys to realize where we are and what we need to do to get through the rest of this. So yeah. I'm impressed, to say the least. Mr. Ibis getting the slab out of here. Or no, kills Lich and is going to go back to get the slab?
I wonder if, yeah, that's what it looks like. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the orb is lit. I guess maybe wants to do that, and then I don't know. I don't know. Because we don't have
just kind of spaced out. I mean, because I know sometimes that's the thing, you're just kind of running through. I guess especially when you only have the one character, as you're just trying to get through. But
yeah, I think you're probably right there. That's the only thing I can think of is maybe, like you said, just kind of was like, oh, I got the rod, let's go, and then killed Lich and was like, oh yeah, there's an incentive here. I gotta grab that real quick.
Yeah, especially since it's hard required, because like looking at what we found and what we're missing right now between all of our runners, the slab turn in Lefane is going to have to turn into the Oxyale, and the key is sitting with mermaids.
Yeah. Yeah, based on everything we've seen, that is the only option. So yeah, looks like Forsaken Sadness is going to be our first runner down here to turn in the slab. So we'll see that Oxyale out of there, because it can't really be anything else. All right. Forsaken Sadness is going to get slow landed from those wizards. They also have like gross everything else.
Blizzard, all sorts of nastiness.
Yeah, and this is the only thing that stinks about the black belt soloing around is that they just don't run away very well.
Even at that high level, their luck growth is not the greatest. So, yeah.
No. Right, Pyro gonna get the power bonk here. Gonna be happy to see it. It's like we're kind of lost here. Uh-oh, the Fire 2s are going to start coming out. We did grab a ribbon, so hopefully he threw that ribbon on that black belt. Luckily, the black belt ran away, so it's okay. Everything is fine.
I don't think he did, because taking 50 damage from Fire 2, that doesn't feel like resisting.
Yeah.
On a Fire 2.
Yep. So Sin Pyro here has kind of done everything except that slab turn in, and I guess because we went to Crescent and got the power bonk, we're just going to go ahead and kill Carry. We're in the area, you may as well do it.
Yeah, you're not coming back here for anything else, so...
Yeah. Right, here we go again. These Spectres again. This is another reason why I would have been like gone to 42, especially if I was coming back in here with a solo black belt. More HP. Maybe the Spectres would run away from me at 42 versus 32. But looks like we got the slab and should be good to go.
Yeah, I would say only taking the black belt to 32, I'd probably keep the Thief up in the top slot for that ambush chance. Because if you ambush them, doesn't matter what your luck is on the black belt. He's getting away.
Yeah. Right, getting a bunch of EXP out of these boxes here on Sin Pyro's side. I mean, Sin Pyro's in a pretty good position here. I think he saw the War Mech, so I figured like at this point, if you're like in the area, or like if you want to just grab a couple extra levels, especially with an Excal and whatever else we have here, I mean, I'd go kill a War Mech real quick to grab like an easy 4 or 5 levels.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, he's switching to punching, but Mr. Ibis is up against mummies, and we know they do not have. They have fun things for the enemies, but not things you want to see with Trance and Glance.
Yeah, luckily Trance is a pretty low chance to land kind of spell. But yeah, I still wouldn't want to see him, especially with Dazzle right afterwards. Mr. Ibis does make it out of there with that solo black belt, and I think we're level 35 now. Not Young Me taking down Lich as well. And I imagine all these runners will be kind of doing everything else that we've already seen from or at least Not Young Me. Mr. Ibis will be doing all the stuff that Not Young Me has done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forsaken Sadness here. I am at a loss. Oh no, we got the Axial. Okay, cool. So yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to do what he's doing. He hasn't been in this area, now he can clear it. So, check Waterfall. You'll end up getting the tail. Probably might go promote before running into C just to get that, because especially if you picked up that Excal, it would make sense to actually go do the promotion so you can use the better weapons.
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, who would have thought that, like, I thought the play was to go to Earth Cave, rodless, get the rod, come out of there, and then do all this other stuff before coming to this area and doing the crown and all that jazz. I mean, this is wild. This seed is crazy.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting being the one, one of the runners, especially when you got to, if you gambled Earth Cave early, you found out, hey, this was completely required. I'm feeling really good about myself. But say you're running like a fighter, and you check those tiles and you see the eye on the Earth element, you're like, uh-oh, if somebody brought a black belt, this might be scary time for a fighter party at this point, because that's what you're hoping to not see if you're running fighter parties when you run over a spike tile. It's like, let this not be the eye tile. You want the eye tile to be in some crazy dangerous location. It's like, yeah, they're not going to take this.
Yeah. And yeah, Not Young Me, Woo Bear's pointing out, Not Young Me looks like we're gonna get that War Mech kill we're looking for.
I honestly like it. Like, he needs level still. I mean, you're not gonna say no to a monster, because you could give that to either your knight or the ninja, either one. They're going to do a lot of work with it.
Yeah, I know Mr. Ibis has to be beating himself up right now, finally making it to Elfland and seeing Warp and Life 2 and all these spells that would have been so nice, 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, now the fun question is he also going to dive into Marsh, looking for the incentive there?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I hope not, for his sake, just because, obviously he's not going to need the Roost Stick. So, send Pyro down here. Taking on Carrie, going to light up their second orb here, hopefully. Nuke's coming out, fades. Doing fades and Nuke's thing. Man, that fade was like the minimum of minimal roll. So bad. Nuke coming out. Still hasn't done enough damage. We got to get somewhere between 600 and 900, and that'll do it there. That fade actually doing some damage. Carry down. 2 orbs lit on Senpyro's side. Caught up to Not Young Me, who also has 2 orbs lit. And yeah, here we go. We got a Warmech battle. Robot Chicken on the screen.
Was Infernal was the first skill, so good chunk of damage there. And that's kind of the scary thing right now is looking at that red wizard. There's no healing spells on it. So once you get into combat, you're locked into combat with whatever health you have, unless you want to use drink strats.
Yep. Lit 2 is probably going to take out that red mage. Yeah. Oof. Still got the black mage alive. Got fades and nukes. We're just going to hope that we can get, Warmech's health down. Ooh, here comes fast. Yep, and Mr. Ibis in. Oh, man, and there we go. Big old hit. There we go. Level 21, 23 across the board. That's pretty good.
Getting a Masa. +5 too. Wow. That is going to hit like a truck.
Yeah. And here we go, Mr. Ibis here in Marsh Cave. You called it. Is going to be here in Marsh Cave doing Marsh Cave things. Going to get the Roost Sticks. Probably not going to be happy about it, but hey, it's what we do here.
Pyro. Might be okay with it because that's kind of the one thing he's missing. It's like if he has to go down to man mode Topher with the black belt, he's got no way to get evasion stacks at the moment. So it's just kind of hold A and pray strats at the moment. Yep. Whereas that Roost Stick gives you that little bit of safety where it's like, all right, I can use this and hopefully nothing's going to punch me down at the very least.
Yep. Pyro here, going to get the Oxiel. I'm interested to see. We're in Sky, or next to Sky, so I imagine we're going to do Sky next. Even though we know that the key is in, freaking Sea Shrine, that place.
Yep.
The good thing about... Sorry, go ahead.
It was like we have that on Forsaken Sadness' side, so he's just missing the chime.
Yeah, and the chime was
Astos.
Astos, the crown.
Which he just got his crown while he was here, so that's all he needs to actually go and check. Which I think that's really all he has to check as well.
Yep.
So
done everything else. We know the herb is in Sky, which is going to lead to the black shirt. So yeah, Mr. Ibis I don't think, check that room with Warmech. Not that I imagine he would have killed Warmech, but for the Masa, but it would have been nice to get a couple extra levels.
Yeah, because his party's a little light on levels, and the black belt, you're never going to say no to more levels, especially if it's quick like that. It just gives you more damage and more M-def.
Yep.
There's really no reason to take easy levels.
Yep. Not Young Me getting the power bonk from the Sages and Crescent. I'm interested to see if he'll go on ahead and just go to Volcano since we're in the area. It looks like he is. So third orb going to be lit here in just a moment. And on his side, all he really needs to do is just go turn in the slab, get the Oxiel, get the key, and then we're in business as far as Not Young Me is concerned. That'll get us in go mode. Really, the only person that really just needs to get the game moving is Mr. Ibis. Unfortunately, he just got stuck down in Earth Cave, and then doing the Marsh Cave thing. Now it's going to have to play a game of catch up, get the crown, turn that crown in for the chime, do the slab translation so we can get the Oxiel, and then of course get the key out of that area. So
I saw level 6 magic. We're still missing temper, which means temper sitting at either level 7 or somewhere in level 8. So that's kind of a good thing for black belt parties because your knights, ninja parties, they're not. I mean, they've got the power bonk, but they're not going to be getting any support from that black mage outside of the fast.
Yep. Vampires also with trance here. Just harassing poor Sin Pyro, but luckily getting away from it. Forsaken Sadness here. Are you seeing this? This is... Oh, there we go. He's back. It looked weird there for a second.
Yeah.
Not Young Me making short work of Volcano, already down to carry.
Yeah, there's a decent run in the encounter table. It's like once you get to that, it's just like I think you can get down there in like 1 or 2 encounters.
Yeah. And Mr. Ibis also here, gonna go on ahead and try to get the fire orb lit up.
So with him like peeking indoors like that, it almost makes it feel like he is actually looking for Wormek. Because there's no other reason to like just peek in the armor and be like, all right, are any of those chests trapped? Nope. All right, cool. I don't care about this. Then I'm leaving. Which yeah, you're not going to do that in Marsh because it's steps to check chests, and that one was actually out of the way as well. So
yeah. Well, the only thing that Mr. Ibis can really hope for here to help get caught up is if we do the slab translation, don't go to Sky, get the crown, do the Oxio, get the key, and then won't have to like do the full clear of Sky for an herb that he doesn't need. That can really help him out as far as time is concerned.
Yep.
So Not Young Me, third orb lit, just needs to go talk to the Lefanish to get that Oxyale, and then can get the key from the mermaids, kill Kraken, and be ready for Topher, because he's the only person so far that went down, killed Wormek, and got that Masa +5. I mean, I think Not Young Me's in pretty good business.
Yeah, not sure about the other 7 runners we have, but as far as the 4 we're watching, it really kind of seems like it's Not Young Me's race to, lose compared to these 4 or the other 3.
Moving some stuff around here, getting the power bonk where we need it. Black shirt, I would equip the black shirt over the silver bracelet just for the time and the death elemental, or time and ice elemental resistances.
Yep. That time, I mean, it's not a huge thing, but when you get in a Topher, you don't know who has Zap, and that's the only way to protect from Zap other than Wall or Ribbon.
Yep. Forsaken Sadness here on Kraken's floor. Going to be pulling Kraken here in the next 30 seconds or so. Going to try to light up their second orb here. And here comes Lobsters. More Blizzard action coming out.
Yeah, that's going to be something we're going to have to pay attention to when we get to Topher, because Lobsters also exist there. And thankfully that fighter has life too, so can pick everybody up. But yeah, that's going to be scary in Topher if we get any seafood party plaques.
Yeah, what I would have liked to have seen, and hopefully Forsaken Sadness watches this back, use the life 2 on your red mage, then use your red mage to life 2 everybody else. That way you can conserve some life 2 charges on your knight. Especially since we know lobsters are scary down here. You don't want to be in a situation where you have no life 2 charges and then are going to have to solo knight a Kraken, but see how we go here. Kraken coming up here. Fast coming out.
Yep, I like that. Right now, just your fighter's not promoted, so it doesn't have any decent weaponry. Your best weapon right now is on that red mage with the Excal from the bonus. Some nice aid charges.
Yep, so Mr. Ibis here is going to go on ahead and turn in this to get the Oxio, and since we don't have the chime from the crown turn in, can't go into Sky, so this is actually a good play for Mr. Ibis, because he's going to be in go mode here. It's not going to be too long after killing Kraken and turning in that crown that Mr. Ibis will be in go mode. Forsaken Sadness taking down Kraken. Second orb lit on his side. And at this point, what do we need? We need to turn in the crown, right, to get in go mode?
Yeah, he just needs crown turn in for go mode. Not Young Me needs to go to C to pick up the key to be in go mode, which, I mean, at this point, he knows, like, I've checked every incentive in the game except this. The key has to be there. There's literally no question about it.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
there's temper at level 7.
Oof. And unfortunately for Sin Pyro already had the crown and got the chime, so is now clearing sky to get the useless herb. So unfortunately losing a little bit of time here with this full clear, but luckily we know the herb is in this room right here. So you should be able to move on and kill Tia and then, you know, do everything else, and should be in go mode not too much longer after everybody else. Forsaken Sadness going for class change. May as well.
Mr. Ibis just got crown.
Yep.
So at this point, you're just going to need to go turn that in and get the key. And yeah, this is going to be interesting to see. Like, Not Young Me's should be the first one in a Topher.
Yeah.
But Mr. Ibis, I don't feel is going to be that far behind, because if he goes to turn in the crown right away, which makes sense to do it before going in. I mean, probably does Waterfall after this.
Yeah.
Because still looking for chime. But turns in crown after sees its, immediately sees it's the chime, and then does a full go mode of sky, which shouldn't take that long.
Yep.
And then you see like can the black belt at 30 somewhere between 32 and 42 make up that time? Because we'll see what Topher does as far as its fiends. One of them we could hit a wall, even though the stats are low. They have the clamped HP, so chances of a knight, even with the Masa, just one-shotting everything, probably not so great. But that black belt potentially could still.
Mr. Ibis does get the key. So like I said, all we need to do is turn in the crown to get the chime, which he did buy the crown, correct?
Yeah, he did buy the crown.
All right, so, and then we know that the tail is in Waterfall, which is a quick check. So hopefully Mr. Ibis, obviously going to probably go there since you're in the area anyway. There's no reason not to. But hopefully, we'll get through that place quickly and then realize that doesn't need the tail, and then we'll turn in that crown. So, but Sin Pyro here has got Tia pulled up, going for the third orb. Power bonk. Like that play. Fast. Let's get that knight up and ready. Rachel coming out as well, raising that evade. Big hit out of that X-Cow. 5-14. Only need a few more, or not even a few more, a couple more of those to take down Tia.
Especially when you throw some fades and nukes into it. That was an extra 300 damage.
And there we go. Big old hit. 8 hits for 856. That's going to do it. And Tia's down. Pretty good levels there on Sin Pyro as well, as we light up our third orb. And like I said, only needs to go talk to the Lefane and get that Oxiel out of there so we can keep it moving.
Mr. Ibis, assuming we saw him cast Life 2 in battle, thinking, I can bring my Black Mage back up. No, flag's turned off. Sorry.
Yeah, Saracen pointing out.
It's not a flag that seems to be used normally when it comes to tournament standards. It's been one of those things in the Duckling Seeds that has been getting used to kind of make it a little bit easier, but it does significantly change how you can think about the game when you can cast Life in battle. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Not Young Me, chat pointing out, really playing this game well. I mean, had some bad luck in Marsh Cave. Couple of other things didn't work out, like going to, I think he was one of the first ones to full clear sky that led to the herb that led to the black shirt, so that wasn't good either. So the fact that he's still kind of leading the charge here is pretty impressive. And man, blink and you miss it. Mr. Ibis already kills Kraken. So that's 3 orbs for Mr. Ibis. Really getting caught up after getting kind of hung up there in Earth Cave trying to get that black belt ground up.
Yeah, I was getting the black belt ground up, and then again, lost a bunch of time having to go back to pick up that incentive and then leave. So there were a bunch of random encounters that he had to take that he really couldn't run away from either. So lost a decent chunk of time there.
Yeah, and I, we've been kind of pointing out how Not Young Me might be the first person. Well, yeah, it's going to be the first person with all 4 orbs lit. But man, blink and you miss it. Sin Pyro already here in Sea Shrine is about to be in go mode in the next 15 seconds. And heck, only needs to kill Kraken in order to also have all 4 orbs lit. So I imagine Sin Pyro will be our second person on stream to be in Topher. depending on how long it takes Mr. Ibis to get that, crown turned in and then back into Sky.
Yeah, I mean, I fully expect Mr. Ibis, as soon as he sees Tail on the robot, I fully expect to see a reset out. I don't see any reason why you would keep with a black belt party. I mean, you've already got your black belt ground up, but are you really going to spend the time to actually go promote? And then what are you really promoting for?
Yeah, there's really nothing you can promote for. I think Nuke was Red Wizard learnable. I don't really see that.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can go pick up Nuke on the Red Wizard. I mean, there's kind of other things that your Red Wizard's probably going to be doing in combat than casting Nuke. Like if you didn't have Fate on the Red Wizard, then I could see it, because then you have a non-elemental spell to cast. But already having Fade, even if it shares a level with Fast, right now your Black Mage only has Rub on that as well. So
Forsaken Sadness is going to get a stern talking to from Lord Fizzleby for checking this box. in the incentive volcano box, just hanging out checking it. At least you got nearly 6,000 EXP for that.
Yeah, can't complain too much about that.
Except for the time and the 2 tiles you had to go through.
Yeah, the time, but
yeah. All right, so Forsaken Sadness here is going to pull up Carry, and Not Young Me love using that dock there. It's actually quicker to do the dwarf dock and then walk over to man. How good are these new runners? They're scaring me.
Yeah. So we got like 102.50 is when Not Young Me.
Mm-hmm.
Jumped 2,000 years in the past.
Yep, Mr. Ibis getting in go mode here by picking up the chime from the Astos, or the crown turn-in. Send Pyro on the way to Kraken right now. And Forsaken Sadness taking on Carry. Gonna light up their third orb here in just a second.
Mr. Ibis is in go mode, just picked up chime.
Yeah. Saracen pointing out in chat, we say that every time. We're not joking. We're like some of our Duckling Derby winners, like Deadpool, Sir Link-a-Lot, really, really good, scary runners now. Heck, you're still really awesome, and you took like a 6-month hiatus from us.
Yep. 6-month hiatus. Like, I know when I came back, I felt the rust. Like, I'm doing seeds, and like my menuing is trash. Like, I'm having to think about things that I just used to know right away. I'm just like, I need to de-rust. Like, incredibly. And I'm like, all right, I'm starting to get sort of back into form, but I can tell there's still some rust.
All right, Not Young Me making it through Topher here, just trying to get away from this Frost Giant and Frost Wolf battle. Should be near the Earth floor here in about another 10 seconds or so. Mr. Ibis going to Sky is not going to have to try to hunt down the herb out of there, because already in go mode has probably already deduced at this point that the herb is in fact leading to the black shirt. And so I imagine Mr. Ibis is going to be killing Tiamat in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Send Pyro going for the 4th orb here, taking on Kraken.
Yeah, big old swing from that X-Kill.
Opening up with Fast, but it won't matter if Kraken just keeps casting spells.
Yeah, no, Fast is that spell that you hope Kraken doesn't have, and if you hope it has, it's just like, all right, you can just keep casting spells. Please don't punch me now.
Yeah, you can please stop that. Not Young Me taking down, or is taking on Lich, should be taking him down here pretty shortly.
Metal Slimes have crack, took down the Thief and the Black Belt. They kind of, like they're chunky too.
Oof. This is not good. Let's get away from this. Luckily, we should have life 2 on that red mage, so it shouldn't be the end of the world, but yeah, that's pretty scary. Luckily, we had that ribbon.
Yeah, I didn't even see the speed bump on Not Young Me's side. We're almost to carry 2.
Yep. And Sin Pyro trying to find their way to Topher. I know boat routing can be a little weird.
This is one of the reasons why I like floaterless flags, because it makes you kind of learn how to move with the boat. Especially once they added the speedboat in, because then it's just like, this doesn't feel so bad anymore to actually just take a boat everywhere.
Yeah, turning off speedboat is like just sadistic at this point. Like if anybody does it, you're just like, come on, seriously, why? It's almost like when people turn off the guy a shortcut. I'm like, why? You're just wasting my time. So Mr. Ibis here on the Bridge of Destiny is going to be here on Tiamat here shortly. That was a lot of here's I just said. And Sin Pyro will be in Topher in the next 15 seconds or so. Not Young Me making short work of Carry, and we are on the Kraken floor. Let's go.
This is the scary floor knowing the lobsters, but we have yet to hit any ramp. And there's the seafood party pack. That's the one you don't want to see. And that's why. Only one blizzard, though. And Night gets away.
Nice. Here we go here. Black Belt coming out swinging. Big ol' hit. 1,100 damage. Wow. Tiamat's still standing, but on, like, you know, on a knee.
Yeah, quad Xable if we had it. And you're not going to survive that twice, Tia. Sorry, goodbye.
Yeah, see you later, Tia. Mr. Ibis lighting up his fourth orb and should be in Topher shortly. Sin Pyro entering Topher, you know, right at the hour 7-minute mark. And Not Young Me, I think we made it through Kraken?
Nope.
Just had to deal with more Blizzard.
Yeah, all the encounters are on the second half of this, but here we go. We got Kraken 2. Let's see if Kraken 2 does Kraken 2 things, or if... Well, 5 hits for 294 on a ninja. Yeah, that's. I think it's time to get some evasion going.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get those roost sticks out there. You can power bonk later. Yeah, I mean, if Kraken is hitting 5 times for that kind of damage on a ninja with all that extra agility, I don't want to see what Kraken's going to do against somebody without agility. 1 hit, 41 damage. That's what 2 roost sticks will do.
Yep, that's why you do the roost sticks.
Yep. Saracen pointing out that Mr. Ibis came out of Sky and did the Matoya dock. Love it. Way quicker to do that, especially if you're coming from the northern continent, than to try to go around. Oh, that was getting bat blocked. Would have been in tow for a whole 2 seconds earlier. And Not Young Me taking down Kraken.
Yeah, so this is going to be interesting to see between Sin Pyro and Mr. Ibis. Mr. Ibis is a few floors behind, but has the black belt. So the Fiend fight should go faster.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and Runnable 4 Rock Golems is going to give some levels. Level 25, it looks like, across the board here. T2 coming up. Hadn't seen anything too crazy except for all those horrible attacks out of Kraken. See if T is going to, have all the unfortunate spells.
Had a chance to see any spells that are dangerous. 3 hits for 92 damage, and you didn't even ruse. I probably won't even waste my time with ruse at this point then and just start swinging.
Yeah, stun
especially
comes out.
When we see 9 hits for 1400 damage.
Yeah, stun coming out doing like a whole lot of nothing, and yeah, this is Tia's not long for this world. Sin Pyro, I just happened to look down, and all of a sudden I just saw Lich dissolving into nothingness. So
Lich 2 doing Lich 2 things.
Pretty much. Not Young Me making it through Tia 2. He's going to be on Chaos here shortly. Mr. Ibis not too far behind Sin Pyro. 1 floor behind him. Sin Pyro is trying to get away from these red Ds. Forsaken Sadness, unfortunately, their stream just keeps kind of being super choppy here.
Yeah, Not Young Me got held up a little bit with some unrunnable sorcerers. Killed them all. Now we're on Chaos floor.
InfoCynic pointing out that Carrie had nuclear. Well,
so 1 scary thing so far.
No. Let's see what our One Punch Machine's going to do here against Lich 2. I think accidentally fasted. No, I guess meant to fast the thief.
I guess, but 16 hits for 1400 damage by Lich.
All right, Not Young Me, our first runner on stream to take on Chaos here. Gonna get some fast strats going. We did pick up Temper at level 7.
Yeah, he was there. So he was in. We've got the finish super shop, so we checked all of it, found temper, and picked it up. I mean, might as well. Even if it's only a charge or two, it's still a charge or two of temper. You're not going to say no.
Yeah. Didn't see what Chaos did in the first round, but I imagine we're going to keep the temper charges coming here. 5 hits, 660. That's a big hit out of that Masa. Using lock strats, love it. You may as well be able to land many more hits on the Chaos. Chaos with a big old hit on that thief. That's one dead thief right there.
That is a dead thief. Got quad X.
Must have landed on that Black Mage.
Chaos quad X so hard it made the stream lag.
Oh man, 4 hits, 281. That's not good. Especially, you know, we need to start power bonking or doing something. Ink coming out. That's going to be a free turn. 7 hits, 455. Slow dude lands. That is not good.
I mean, thankfully it's just outdoing fast, and yeah, we have no more fast charges, so
yeah. But that'll do it. Yeah, the slow 2 lands luckily was fasted, so it just reverted back to normal amount of attacks there for that fighter. But yeah, the fighter comes out with another 200-ish damage, taking down Chaos. Let me look at our race time GG room to see what we have going on here. So Not Young Me, our first place runner on stream, but second place overall, Jesus the Frog was our first place runner off stream with an official race time GG time of 1 hour 10 minutes 19 seconds. Not Young Me with an official time of 1 hour 12 minutes and 12 seconds. And yeah, let's just keep talking about the action here as we ask. I'm going to ask Not Young Me if they would like to chat.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Senpyro TO2. Mr. Ibis is on Kraken 2, but the black belt's down to 1 knee. So it looks like Kraken decided, I'll go mount Yamano. We'll go punching. But did not punch enough. Didn't take the black belt down. We got some fades, nukes. That's enough to kill it. But Senpyro's already through Tia 2 as well, getting held up by the rock goals. We got Mr. Ibis on Tia 2 now. Senpyro gets to Chaos floor. Got some ruse, fast on the black belt. Some more ruse, we're going to fight. And fade.
All right. Not Young Me joining us here in the booth. Just needs to turn off the mute super quick and then we can chat.
And we got Senpyro and Chaos. Saber. We got some fast, some bonks. Some white shirt as well.
I'll have to say, Mr. Ibis really showing us the power of that black belt there. Got caught up real quick to Senpyro. He's also about to take on Chaos here.
Yeah, we'll see if can the black belt outdo the Knight Ninja. Thief is going to be an evasion tank up front.
Yeah, it's crazy how hard Chaos hit that Thief on Not Young Me side, but just kind of tapped Mr. Ibis's Thief. Doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I know Mr. Ibis, or Not Young Me, got crit, and this one was just like, nope, you don't get to crit me.
Yeah. Oh, crack coming out. That's scary. We didn't even see that on your side. Oh.
We're getting the damage in, though. We've got the evasion stacks up.
Big ol' hit out of that X-Gal. Got to get that black belt to do some things. Fasting the Thief, I think that might have been an accident. Big ol' hit, 7 hits, 8 something. shouldn't be too much longer here. Sin Pyro taking down Chaos with an official race time GG time of, pull it up, 1 hour 15:59. That's good. That's good enough for third place.
Yeah, well, I guess unless something really bad happens on Mr. Ibis' side, I don't see Chaos taking him down right now. That black belt is healthy. We've gotten quite a few turns already, and yeah, there he goes. So Mr. Ibis is going to be fourth place in this race with an official time of 1 hour 16 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yep. So not young me. How you doing?
Hey, great. Good afternoon. Thanks for doing comms.
Yeah, oh man, no, that's awesome. I'm glad I could be here for it and watch you play the race, man. That was a really good run. I know you had like a lot of issues there, right, kind of at the beginning, especially that Marsh Cave dive. That was that was no fun.
Yeah, you see that, and then I think it turned out to be the roost stick, so that was a bummer. But I kind of figured everyone was going to make that play, so if I was seeing it, everyone else was seeing it. I thought about resetting out of that, but with a fighter, I just didn't know how Topher was going to be, so ended up just keeping that, and luckily made it out.
Yeah, you were also one of the only runners to do that skydive as well, which I know that probably didn't feel good. Going through all of that just to get the herb and the black shirt, and then still having to go back to Earth Cave and do all the Earth Cave things.
Yeah, that was some weird routing. I was trying to take a gamble and assume that the rod wasn't locked, and obviously that paid off or didn't pay off. So I was trying to do everything else besides, having to double dip Earth. But sometimes that's just how it is. You just make some gambles. But good GGs to, was it Jesus the Frog? I'm not sure if that's the same as Demon Frog, who knocked me out of the. Is it?
No, it's a different person.
Oh, okay. So I've been bounced. So I took second place to Jesus the Frog, and then I got bounced out first round of the spring tournament by Demon Frog. So frogs are my nemesis.
Sin Pyro here in chat. You feel free to join us if you'd like to. Otherwise, go to broadcast waiting room if you want to hang out with us. Otherwise, yeah, feel free to chat in voice or in chat. But no, I see both of you, Mr. Ibis and Sin Pyro, are going to be joining us right now. Mr. Ibis, Sin Pyro, how's it going?
Hi.
Hello.
Doing pretty good.
It's awesome. You guys both put on a heck of a race.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
It was certainly something. I feel like we made really good decisions, and then the execution just didn't really line up with a lot of that early stuff.
I caught the last 10 minutes of the race, and I couldn't believe just how close it was between me and Ibis.
Yeah, it was really, really close. Ibis had, is it Ibis or Ibis? I always just
Ibis.
assumed it was Ibis.
It is Ibis, like the bird.
Ibis. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just the whole time I was thinking like the black belt. There were like so many opportunities where I was like, oh man, this is where the black belt grind's going to happen. This is where he's going to do it. And then, so my first question to that then is, when you were doing the bottle turn-in and you were like near the desert, did you think about going to the desert and maybe checking some of those overworld encounters with that first encounter right off the hard reset?
I thought about it, but at that point, I felt like the party was still fairly squishy, and I didn't really want to try and force it. And obviously, the eye grind happened with me forcing it anyways, so.
Yeah, well, and that was the other thing, too. I did want to go on ahead and talk about that, because we were like, man, like, when you were in Earth Cave and where you decided to do the grind, we were like, man, we could just warp and all this stuff. And then we realized, oh, you hadn't even been to Earth or Elfland yet. So let me ask you that. How did it feel when you went to Elfland and saw, like, Life 2 and Warp and all these awesome spells that...
I mean, at that point, it was kind of exactly what I expected to see there, because I decided to do that, because every time I do, that's right where it is. But if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go there early, that's when I find absolutely nothing, so.
Yeah. So, Forsaken Sadness, I think we have like an issue with some lagging. The timer says 1:20:45 on a stream, but he's actually at 1:06, it looks like, so it's about 11 minutes behind the actual delay. So we'll kind of keep watching this here, but I don't know. we'll talk about it a little bit here. Sin Pyro, how'd you feel about the run?
I came into this very nervous. This is the first time I've actually raced Final Fantasy Randomizer, but I had done quite a few practice seeds on the cardio circuit, and I felt pretty confident in my decisions. I did wind up taking a couple of risks by going up north early, but since I didn't have the rod, I didn't feel comfortable just diving Earth. Nobody likes to double dip Earth, you know.
Yeah,
And then we wound up double dipping Earth anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was rather interesting because most of you guys ended up making that call. I think you and Mr. Ibis both went to Earth pretty early, at least before going down to like the waterfall on rack area. So
Yeah.
I am impressed that all four of you guys realized that was going to be the case, because for me, oh yeah, I've been playing the game a while and I still would have gotten kind of confused. I would have been like, where the hell, what is happening? What am I missing here?
I think for me it was the point once I saw that Matoya didn't have the rod, it clicked into my head that it had to be at Sarda, because I had the ruby and I had almost everything else to go to get through to Earth with that except for the rod. So I was like, well, there's only really one place it could be, and that would be Sarda, because you can't get the Crescent Lake without defeating Lich.
Yeah.
Yep. On my end, I went there a little earlier because I was thinking, okay, I've got the ruby, so I can get to Sarda. It's either going to be the frustrating rod, and it was vanilla, and I'm going to be getting something out of it, or maybe there's something else there and it's what it is, but I'm not going to lose that much time because it is the slow Sarda anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I think overall, like, the way, especially Mr. Ibis ended up routing the rest of the game, not having to full clear sky, was like really helped you out as far as getting caught up after getting kind of hung up in Earth. You know, trying to kill off your party members just for those specters to fire everybody down, and then having to go back in and do it again, and then.
And of course, the eyeball had cataracts today. Couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, and then because of the way everything worked out, like, you couldn't really bring your party back to life, so you had to go back in with a solo black belt to try to kill Lich, or else you would have to go to like a Canary or something to bring everybody back to life. That's taking up too much time. The other thing I want to point out is, like, did you forget to clear Earth 4, or was it always your plan to kill Lich?
No, I completely spaced. I was like, okay, it's there, and I already got the enchanted chest by the vampire, and Lich is dead, and oh wait, this was after gating.
At least you remembered, because that slab was rather required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a half second from warping out, and I was like, oh no.
I was I think my hardest dungeon was actually Marsh Cave. I think I was in there 3 times. The first time I accidentally clicked on the Warmack chest, and I don't know, it was probably level 4 with nothing to kill it. So I had a hard reset out of that. Then went down, I think I got bounced by Blizzard, and then had a bounce. So then went back in, finished it, came back a 4th time to actually get that Masa. I don't know if any of the other runners ended up picking that up, but it turned out to be +5, so worth it.
Never found it. I wound up getting the Excal out of Earth.
Oh, nice. How'd that roll?
What was it? I think it rolled
+2, I thought.
Yeah, it rolled plus.
Yeah, I think it was +2. I think you're right. So a couple more things off stream here. Actually, I can't really talk about the people off stream because we've got to wait for our person on stream to finish up. So never mind.
I think the one big heart attack thing that I had was when I was in Mirage Tower. I hit the spike tile right before the cube, and it was metal slimes. I was like, okay, it's metal slimes. I'll go ahead and take this. Crack came out, wiped out 3 of my party members. I'm like, I gotta get out!
Yeah, they did the same thing to me, but they left my life caster up.
Yeah, they left my life caster up too.
I definitely never saw that. I ran into him, but I think I just ran each time. I thought about throwing some nukes or fire 3s. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. But so
it was scary.
Yeah, I'm glad I did not do that.
Did you guys
end up finding any ribbons?
I found 1, I believe. I do not remember where I found it, but I know I found 1.
Yeah. The ribbon was in Earth 4 bottom room. I know Sid Pyro found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in
And
the
actually,
top
Mr.
chest in that bottom.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Ibis also found it because I remember you had to go back and try to find the slab. So we are going to pull Forsaken Sadness in because his stream is lagging pretty bad. He finished a while ago, actually, according to the Race Time GG, well over that 10-minute mark there. So Forsaken Sadness, how you doing today? Must be having some headset issues here.
He did say in the race room he's having bad legs, so he might not be able to talk as well. So
Okay, that's fine. Feel free to join the chat and talk about your run there if you're having issues getting us chatting with us here. So, Lincoln, you got any questions?
yeah, I was wondering if you were going to ask, but Mr. Ibis, the decision to grind on the I tile, we're not questioning that because I tile is probably the best grind you find for a block belt. Why the I tile on Earth 3 though?
It's linked somewhere else, isn't it?
That's the Earth Elemental tile. So there's actually one there's 2 spots for it on Earth 1.
Well, that's really important information.
Yeah,
we were wondering about that. It's like he's gonna have to run this grind out, and there's those specters and everything else that could be here, and it's like the bottom left room has a tile where you can not take any encounters off step either.
Nice. I know right now the spike tiles and knowing what's where is really where I'm weakest, I feel like.
Yeah, so the spike tiles, so in Earth, there's 3 Earth elemental tiles on that first floor, and they're in each of the 3 rooms. So specifically, the bottom left room is the best place to grind because it's just like where you ground on Earth 3. There's no off tile encounter you got to worry about. But yeah, it's just a little bit safer on that first floor, especially with those specters with fire too. I'm sure that those were giving you a heart attack every time you saw them, and those wizards with blizzard and trance and all that other nonsense.
Yeah, it was a little sketchy, so I'll definitely have to keep that in mind for the future.
Yeah. So yeah, off stream. So like I said before, Forsaken Sadness has actually finished the game, but his stream is lagging pretty bad. He finished at 1 hour 26 minutes on the dot. So hopefully, if Forsaken Sadness can talk to us, we can talk to him about their run while they're in Topher. Ike here finished in 6th place with an official race time GG time of 1 hour 29 minutes 15 seconds. Sir Toddalot finished 7th place with 1 hour 29:48. Ego Dev finishing in 8th place with 1 hour 31:25. And Windfox 470 finishing in 9th place with an official time of 1 hour 37:13. And it looks like there's only 2 more people out there still running the seed right now. 4X11GD and the great Zigany. Zigany? It's an interesting name. So yeah, it looks like, based on just what's happening here in the Discord, it looks like Forsaken Sadness is having issues with internet connectivity or their headset or something like that because they keep popping in and then popping back out. So we'll keep watching this, but we can go on ahead and probably hit into final thoughts for you guys, at least, if you guys want to give us anything else you're thinking about before getting out of here.
Yeah, this is not young me. I can start if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great. You're our winner on stream. So yeah, coming in 2nd place in the first race of the Duck Derby. I know that's got to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. GG's to all the racers, especially Jesus Frog. Good win there. Again, thanks to the comms team and entire community for putting this on. I know it's for the Ducks, so you guys aren't even racing. So to put on this for us, we really appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to race maybe one other race, so I probably this might be my last one. But regardless, really appreciate you putting it on, and looking forward to continue to race with you guys.
Yeah, I think I remember talking to you about it a little bit, and sometimes people make plans for you, man.
I know. I mean, Final Fantasy should take precedent. It should be the only thing in my life, but unfortunately,
That's what I keep telling my wife, and for whatever reason, she's not hearing that.
Yeah,
Don't you understand?
Yeah, exactly. The sister-in-law should understand that I can't come see their kids, right, for 4th of July. They should understand that.
Forsaken Sadness appears to be a little lost here trying to get to Temple of Fiends. It is weird coming from the north side, but if you can dock at those, I think Mr. Ibis actually did it. If you could dock at those that river system right next to Matoya's cave, you can get to Topher pretty quickly. So, Mr. Ibis, you are third place, or sorry, Sin Pyro, sorry, third place runner on stream, or second place runner on stream, third place overall. How you feeling coming out of this?
I feel a lot better than I did coming into it, that's for sure. But yeah, I just want to say GG's to everybody. It was a lot of fun racing against y'all. Greg, thanks for putting this on. To help us new people learn how to play the game. I really appreciate it. You and Link, thanks for comms, and Jay Scheidel for the tracking and restreaming. We really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you guys, man. My whole thought for this Duck Derby thing is like, the only way Final Fantasy Randomizer can continue as a thing is if we can get newer players to keep picking up the game, because the veterans are gonna come in and out of the thing. They'll show up for spring tournaments. It may disappear for a little bit, may come back periodically, but an influx of newer runners to get involved really keeps the community alive. So, I mean, we've been going pretty strong since 2016, from what I've heard. So, Mr. Ibis, any final thoughts?
Honestly, it was a really cool seed. I feel like it was just rough enough to really show off what we were doing. And obviously, thanks so much to you guys for doing the commentary, restreaming it, and everything else. Also, shout outs to Bridge Boss past 1 hour. It's always hilarious.
Gotta love seeing the text. Hey, are you ready for this grand adventure? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I've been doing this for nearly an hour now. Sir Linkalot, how's it going?
It was a nice, good race. We had 3 runners that finished within just about 4 minutes of each other. We got to see various parties as well. It wasn't just one party. It was like, this is the party you take, or you're going to be way behind. So it was nice to see 3 completely different parties finish around that same time, because I know that's something we talked about early on, was there really didn't seem to be like a bad party to take with the way the bonuses landed.
Yeah.
The times kind of showed that too. That's it's like, hey, here it is. So
yeah, I was pretty impressed. I think that it's very rare, especially in any sort of tournament settings, where there isn't like sort of a meta party that you can run. But I felt like looking over the flags and then the way the blur scenes happen and stuff. I mean, I think any party could have won, as you could see. I mean, Fighter Party ended up coming out on top, but Mr. Ibis was able to really close the gap with that black belt. And I'm actually interested. Jesus the Frog is in chat. What party did you run? There were a lot of good options. Almost took a red mage, thought about black belt. So obviously, so hopefully in chat we'll be able to answer that question.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was nervous about. I was hoping that there were clear-cut blessings. Then I got to the screen, I'm like, this could go any way. And so you just got to feel, stick to what you're comfortable with. I think the knight being able to learn some, early white magic was probably the reason why I tilted towards a fighter. But I did think that, black belt could actually be a viable option.
Yeah, so Jesus the Frog going with the Thief Fighter, White Mage, Black Mage. That ended up working out pretty well, considering that Fade landed at level 2. And then at that point, you had like the Cure 4s, which the Red Mages couldn't have. And you had the Exit, which the Red Mages couldn't have. So I think that ended up... Those are like the only 2 spells I would have wanted to see early on that would have made my White Mage choice feel good.
Yeah, so, and then heal 3 was locked out too, so it was basically just a heal pod fest the entire run.
Yeah, I mean, I nearly wanted to take Fighter Rainbow, but I definitely because Red Mage having been able to equip Excal is really nice, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not really comfortable with Red Mage right now. I think I'll just stick with my Fighter Thief White Black. So, but yeah, I almost took the Fighter Rainbow.
So yeah, Forsaken Sadness here and Topher. We know that 1 hour 35 is incorrect as far as the time is concerned, since, for Forsaken Sadness finished the seed at 1 hour 26 minutes on the dot. So we'll imagine it was like 30 minutes ago when he entered Topher. So we'll keep an eye on that. Sir Linkalot and I will just keep chatting otherwise.
I mean,
And
we've
then
got
once-
Forsaken Sadness is in the waiting room again if we want to pull him in and see if he's able to chat with us.
Yeah, go ahead and do that now. Forsaken Sadness. Hopefully you can hear us, or your headset's working okay, and you can talk to us a little bit about your run while you finish up. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like for whatever reason, Forsaken Sadness's mic is not unmuting. It probably has something to do with the audio setups. That'll happen sometimes. I've seen it happen to people before, or potentially, just internet in general. Forsaken Sadness taking on some slimes. You gotta love it. Those slimes with crack, that's not fun. Actually, a lot of the enemies were no fun.
Yeah, I mean the ones you saw commonly, at least, like the ones that were rare, that's probably the ones that were like, hey, we don't have anything, but
yeah, Medusas with Blaze, mummies with Trance and Dazzle, and all kinds of other dumb stuff. And we saw the lobsters with Blizzard, slimes with crack, bones with glare, I think is what we saw in Marsh Cave. Yeah, Jesus the Frog. I want to say Not Young Me was around like 25-ish near the end. Sin Pyro, I want to say, was in the same boat. Not Young Me did go down and kill Warmech, so that kind of helped out with the levels.
I mean, even Mr. Ibis only took Black Belt to... The grind was 32, but I think it ended him like 35, 36.
Yeah.
Is what he ended up at?
Yeah, I think it was about there.
They're bringing up, yeah, we're just like lobsters with Blizzard, but yeah, like everything that we saw commonly was just like this cannon probably will kill you.
Yeah,
usually did.
So hopefully, if Forsaken Sadness can get the audio issues figured out, we can chat a little bit as he tries to make his way through Topher here. But I imagine this is going to be the only dive of Topher.
So, looking at chat, Windfox said, I guess depending on how you went into Sky and did all the walking, there were 3 unrunnable war mechs on the Ridge of Destiny.
So yeah, Windfox did do the BB comp as well. Took the I-grind to 32, finished at 38. Nice.
Well, I think I went into Mirage at like level 12, so the 3 unrunnable war mechs would not have worked for my early dive.
Oh my gosh, your Tiamat battle was like... It was harrowing, to say the least. Were you like swinging a Rapier +5?
Yeah, I believe so. And I think I killed it with like Ice 2 or something like that. I knew that it was slow, but I just had no options. I mean, I had to go to... I really thought that was progression. And so luckily it worked out. Of course, Bane never landed. And then when the thief got killed, I'm like, I'm screwed. So I don't know exactly how I made it through. I'll have to watch it back, but it was a slow battle.
I thought you were one of the people that sold the Bane sword, or did you consider selling it?
I did sell it, and then I found another one.
Oh, there you go. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, it looks like for Forsaken Sadness still having some technical issues here. So
yeah, it looks like we might have refreshed that stream and it actually caught up and he's completed at this point because I'm seeing credits there.
Yeah. So there we go. Look at that.
I think that's my stream.
Oh, okay, or that.
Maybe his stream just died again like it did earlier. I know that he was having connectivity issues before the race even started.
Yeah, Jay Scheidel actually confirming stream died.
All right, well, since we already did our final thoughts, thank you everybody on Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel for hanging out with us during the Duckling Derby. Remember, Team Bikke is going to be doing Team Bikke things every Sunday 2 weeks from now. So the 10th, 17th, and 24th at noon. So you'll finally get caught up on how those guys are running their races. Those Sundays, those will happen either on our channel or on RPG Limit Break, and on Saturdays, starting this Saturday, the 2nd, we're skipping the 9th, and we're doing Saturday the 16th, 23rd, and 30th will be Team Astos. So that'll be the other half of our Ducklings. That'll be happening at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. If you like what you saw, please join our Discord. Go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, click on the link for the community Discord, and that will take you to where we're going. And our next big major event that's going to be happening after the Duck Derby is going to be our co-op tournament. That should be going live with more information around July, like the beginning of July. So again, if it seems like something you'd be interested in, join the community. Somebody will go live about that information. Like I said, at the beginning of July. But on behalf of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord, Final Fantasy Randomizer Twitch channel, my co-coms, Sir Linkalot and Jay Scheidel doing the restream, you guys have a wonderful evening, and we will see you guys on Saturday.